Hey guys, JJ Yapping here today with yet another gaming video. This time, instead of COD Zombies, we got ranking the FNaF games. As you can see, we have the mainline and a couple spin-offs here and there. And yeah, today I will be ranking them based on this lovely template I found on this website. Um, Full disclosure, there actually was a row below this one. There was a tier below this that said I have not played or seen. However, I've actually played every single one of these games, so I do not need that row. I just deleted it. But here we have, instead of F or like D, we have I'd rather get spring locked. Um, you got playable, I guess, acceptable, Afton-rific, and of course, Superstar. Oh. Man, no one doing it like the FNAF fandom. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump straight into this, and we're doing this in release order. So, without further ado, starting off with the original. Now, I'll be completely honest, I have played this across so many different devices and every single time, always having fun. Loki always getting scared every single time the power goes out or I see Foxy running down the hallway. Um, Oddly enough, I actually learn quite a bit about this game every single time I replay it. Like, I'm finding out what certain sound effects are for, or certain, like, lore tidbits about the game, blah blah blah. Like, there's just so much I find out. And actually, believe it or not, I actually do have a clip of me getting none other than the Golden Freddy Easter egg, um, to which, of my knowledge, is still the most rare Easter egg in the entire series. If I am wrong about that statement, by all means, correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it is, or at least one of. But yeah, without further ado, I mean, I just feel like not only just because it's the OG, but I also just feel like Scott really nailed it in this game, and it kind of makes sense because he had a bit of pressure making this. I feel like, with people just not really rocking with Chipper and Sons, saying like, oh, like my son found this like scary because of the animatronics and stuff. Like, he saw that and went ham in FNAF 1. So, I mean, this was like a make or break game for him. Like, he really had to lock in, and he did. And with that said, instant superstar. I mean, like, come on. It's not even just the fact that it's the OG, it's just the fact that it's just that good. Like, it's a really, really good goddamn game. Like, the sound design's great. Sure, the gameplay, some people might see the point and click, sit and survive kind of thing as boring, especially this one because it's a bit slow. But I honestly prefer the more slower, methodical kind of FNAFs where it really has you questioning, um, whether you're right to do something or not. Trust me, that will come back. Um, Moving on to FNAF 2. Now, this one I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. I absolutely love the story, the lore that Scott added to this one. I love how this one actually ties back to the whole Bite of 87 thing. That was a bit of a mystery in the first game. Expanded on that, expanded on the overall lore and the story. Like, FNAF 2 is when like I feel like FNAF like truly started becoming like a full-on story, and FNAF 3 like later solidifies that. Um, I love the death minigames. I also really love the animatronic designs. I know so many people say like, dude, the Withers is the best design in the series. I mean, for me, I'm personally still gonna go the classics just because to me, I just feel like the class like both are really good in different ways though. Like, that's the thing though. Like, I just prefer the classics though because that is what I would expect out of like a Chuck E. Cheese, um, animatronic, but made to look a bit more uncanny and scary in the dark. FNAF 2 though, like with the Withers, like absolute cinema, bro. Like that's what I expect out of like, these suits to have like wear and tear and, being used as like parts for other suits. So the Withers are absolutely great. The toys, I mean, they're pretty cool, but I still think the Withers look way, 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 way cooler. As for the actual gameplay of FNAF 2, I can't lie, I'm not a huge fan of this one. Like, look, if you asked me to make this video years ago, I think FNAF 2 would have been an instant S tier without a question. However, the more and more I play this, and again, much like FNAF 1, I've actually replayed this across like multiple devices, right? So I've replayed FNAF 2 countless times, just as many, maybe even more than FNAF 1. Actually, that's probably a lie. I've probably replayed FNAF 1 more. But I have replayed FNAF 2 a whole lot. On my phone, on my Switch, on my Xbox, on my PlayStation, various devices, even on my PC, right? So, despite all that, something I've kind of noticed about FNAF 2 is that, the more and more you like redo the like nights 1 to 5 and then night 6 over and over and over, and it's just, I feel like it's pretty boring. Like, basically, all the animatronics are dealt with the same way. And, like, yeah, there's the gradual threat of, like, oh, well, the Wizards are here. Oh, Golden Freddy's here. And, like, I don't know though. Like the Wizards, with the exception of Foxy, are still basically the same as the toys. And then, you got Golden Freddy, which is another outlier, but like even then, like I swear I like barely see him. Like maybe at max it's like what, night 5, night 6 I see him. Other than that, barely. He's like barely in the game. Um, compare that to FNAF 1 where it like gradually got you into it, like night 1, no one's really moving until towards the end of it. Night 2, you've got like Bonnie and Chica moving more, and then you've got Foxy in addition. Then night 3, Freddy starts moving, but like pretty slowly. Night 4 ramps up a little bit. Bonnie and Chica are a bit more aggressive. Foxy's a bit more aggressive. Freddy's a bit more aggressive. But Night 5 is pretty much a bit of the same. Like, you get my point, though. Like, it gradually showed, um, like, sure, you're still, at the end of the day, just closing the doors, but, Bonnie and Chica being the same, sure, but Freddy and Foxy, like, changed the formula a little bit, especially on a first playthrough. It makes you actually like think a little bit like, oh shit, I gotta, check this, do that. I mean, obviously there's like optimal strats now, but back then that wasn't a thing. Um, FNAF 2 though, I feel like, every time I log into it, I just play it the exact same way every single time, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a bit boring. Just, wind up the box, put on the mask immediately after dropping the camera, and it's just GG's. Oh, and Flash the Hall for Foxy. That's it. So, despite it having pretty good lore, pretty good story, um, and the addition of like death minigames and stuff, and the much more expansive custom night, um, I just feel like the actual gameplay just kind of weighs it down a little bit. So I'm gonna chuck it in Aftonific. It's still good, but I just find its gameplay a bit more boring compared to FNAF 1. Now, this game, FNAF 3, I reckon deserves an apology. I mean, everyone hated or like just found it super boring, I believe, when it came out. But I honestly find myself actually loving it these days. Like, the lore is impeccable, the story is impeccable. The game, like, the mini games to get the good ending is, I can't lie, a bit rough on the console side of things. It's kind of a lot more annoying. But aside from that, like, there's just not a single thing I kind of dislike about FNAF 3. Like, even, I will say the one thing that makes replaying FNAF 3 a bit annoying though is knowing the fact that night one you can literally just doom scroll the whole night or even play a whole separate game during that night. Like, say you're playing on your PS5, you load up night one, you can literally grab your Nintendo Switch or DS or whatever other like handheld device you have, play another game entirely that whole night, and nothing will happen at all because Springtrap is not active. But there is a law reason to it. And I get that, but it does make it a bit boring for people, and I totally understand that. But aside from that one thing, I think FNAF 3 is absolute peak. Like, it takes the more slower, methodical thing of FNAF 1, but just in a even more slower, but also more methodical kind of way. In the sense that, I feel like maybe for some people it could be a bit too slow, a bit too methodical, but, like I said, that's what I absolutely loved about FNAF 1, and I think FNAF 3 does it pretty damn well, albeit a bit more slower, a bit more methodical, and and now it's a 1v1 instead of a 1v4 or even a 1v5 if you want to include Golden Freddy in the first game. Yeah, I know there's the Phantoms, and to be honest, these guys, they're kind of nothing, really. I mean, they're a whole bunch of nothing burgers. Chica, when is she ever gonna jump scare you? Like, you literally have to go out of your way to get her to jump scare you. Foxy is a bit of an annoying prick. The puppet can be annoying, but I'll be honest, I kind of just stay away from that camera anyway, half the time. Um, Balloon Boy is a bit annoying, but even then he's not that bad. Like, I don't know, I find the Phantoms a bit of a nothing burger, but the mini games, both the ones for the good ending as well as the post-night mini games, the lore, the story, the gameplay, like all of it is pretty damn good. But um, you know what? I think it's just high Aftonrific, just because of the fact that, night one just kinda makes it a bit of an annoying replay, having to force yourself to sit through this night where literally nothing happens is really annoying. So because of that, I'm gonna chuck FNAF 3 down here in Aftonrific, high Aftonrific, mind you. Um and if it wasn't for the night one thing, I would honestly probably put it in Superstar. Um, Maybe even above FNAF 1. I don't know. Maybe that's probably a crazy take, but I would if it wasn't for that night one thing. Maybe. Maybe. Not 100%, but maybe I would. Um, oh, okay. FNAF 4. I can't lie to you all. I actually just replayed this like about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes ago before recording this. I was on night 2. I was absolutely cooking. I was on 5 a.m. and I'm like, yes, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm putting on a freaking brave face to do this game. Because I'll let it be known, FNAF 4 scares the living shit out of me. I'm sure it scares the living shit out of quite a lot of people out there. If it doesn't, well, you know what, honestly, good on you. If you don't find it scary in the slightest, you know what, I honestly think that's a good thing. Because it scares the living crap out of me to the point I genuinely don't even want to touch the game. Like, I'm that scared of it. Not in a sense that, oh, the animatronics, oh my god, they're so scary. No, it's the sound design. I loved the sound design in number one, and I actually forgot to mention it. The sound design of number three is also pretty good, but I think number one's is better. The sound design of number four, though, is its FNAF 1 on crack. Like, it is insanely good. Like honestly, like I said, I was just playing night two. I got to 5 a.m. I couldn't hear the breathing though, and I got absolutely fried by Chico. Like that actually scared the living crap out of me. But the complete attention to detail in the sound, like hearing the FNAF 1 Night 1 phone call in reverse and hearing like a dog barking in the background, the ambience, the music, um, the footsteps, like I could hear it all. The breathing did cook me though, but other than that, like it's so crazy how much you can actually hear in that game, and like how important hearing is, and even in the like fun with plush trap slash fun with balloon boy sections, brother, the sound design, so good, so good. I actually cook in the Funwood plush trap every single time, even in this version, by the way. Even this version of Funwood plush trap and Balloon Boy, I cook every single time. I have not died once to plush trap. I may fail and run out on the timer a little bit, but I always never die to them. Either one of them, because I'm just that good. But anyways, with all this said, the lore, the story, how do I feel about it? Honestly, if you put FNAF 4 in a vacuum, I honestly think its story is really goddamn good. Is there so many debates on like, who we're playing as during the night segments and this and that? Yes, but honestly, like all the like lore debates and like how confusing some people find it. Take all that aside, and its story just in a vacuum is so good. Like the crying child's story of like how he's so scared of the animatronics and like his older brother and well is that the bite of 87, like that iconic moment. Like it's just the best way I can put as to why I love FNAF 4 so much is that not only does it scare the living shit out of me more than borderline any other video game, the only exception being Alien Isolation, that game is just insane. To say the least, that game scares me more than FNAF 4. But I would say FNAF 4 is probably like up there for like a top 5, top 3 scariest game I've ever played. Um, but yeah, the most simple way I can put as to why I like this is that it takes everything I like about FNAF 1 and just cranks it all the way up to 11. So for that, it is the highest superstar in the entire franchise. Maybe. Um, so yeah, just to recap, so we got FNAF 1, which is a pretty damn good start to the series. FNAF 2, a bit of a step down in my opinion from a gameplay standpoint, but everything else, peak. Even better than number 1, I would argue. FNAF 3 is mostly peak. The only thing that drags it down is that whole night 1 thing. Other than that, FNAF 3 is peak. I honestly would have it in Superstar if it wasn't for that. Whereas FNAF 2, it's the fundamental core gameplay that actually makes it boring and not all that Superstar worthy, in my opinion. FNAF 4, though, is just FNAF 1 cranked up to 11. I mean, of course I'm going to love that. I mean, come on. But anyways, moving on from that quick little recap, let's go to FNAF 1, the first spin-off game in the series. What do I think of this cutesy, fun RPG? You know what I think of it? Man, superstar. Instantly. I feel like I don't even got to say anything. I know this game got shat on like when it first came out, but as someone who only played it like what, quite a few years ago for the first time and has replayed it numerous times since, it is absolute cinema. I love the art style, I love the music, I love the gameplay, I love the boss fights. I love how meta and kind of funny it is. The only issue that I can think of for FNAF World is just how it ties into the FNAF franchise. Like, I feel like it should have just been its own standalone thing without trying to loop back to here or even there. But other than that, like in a way that is also kind of a good thing that it does. But my hopes for FNAF World 2 is that it's just separate and has nothing to do with the actual franchise lore and it's just a fun little RPG. But honestly, despite that, it's just peak. It's absolute cinema. It honestly arguably has the best soundtrack out of any of these, and I'm not even joking. Um, I'm honestly sure some of you might even agree, but I don't know. We'll see. Tell me which one of these games in the comments, which one has the best soundtrack in your opinion? Because to me, is without a doubt FNaF World, without a doubt. But there is a close second later in the list, and I'll get to that. Alright, this one's definitely gonna give me some angry comments. I'd rather get Springlocked than play this one. I'll be honest, I've not actually beat Sister Location, but before you click off, just hear me out. I've played nights 1, 2, and 3. I've beaten all 3 of those nights. The only night I cannot get past, and it should be very unexpected, is night 4. Night 4 is the only one I can't get past. And if I'm being completely honest, my dislike to this game, like why I dislike it, has nothing to do with me just, oh, you're just trash, you're just raging at night 4. No. I just genuinely think, like, even just from, like, watching gameplay of night 5 and, like, you know, just watching people play, like, the main game numerous times, I just think it's so boring. Like, genuinely, the only time I actually enjoyed my time on Sister Location, specifically from a gameplay standpoint, by the way. Specifically gameplay. Not lore, not dialogue, not anything else. And yes, I said dialogue because I forgot to mention, this doesn't have any voice acting. The only voice acting in any of these games are Scott's voice. Phone guy in this game, phone guy in this game, phone dude in this game, and you can hear his night 1 phone call from this game, but reversed and like distorted, I guess. Pretty cool though. But yeah, like, you know, him as phone guy and phone dude is fine, but this is the first game with proper voice acting, and I like the voice acting in this game. Don't get me wrong. I think the voice acting and the lore of this game are the 2 highlights. And granted, I never actually got the chance to play the custom night, so you know what? You can dislike this video as much as you want when hearing that comment. So I'm not gonna comment on the custom night. Maybe if I actually got a chance to play the custom night, maybe it would be higher. Maybe. But as it stands, just from what I've played and what I've seen, I do not like this game in the slightest, like from a gameplay standpoint at all. I also just think, like, you know, as funny as the humor is in this game, and as good as the voice acting is, I just feel like the next game, FNaF 6, just took everything that was good about Sister Location and just made it so much better. But anyways, the only gameplay segment I actually liked from here, or actually the only two, Ballor's Gallery, which I'll be honest, there's a later iteration of it that I liked a lot more, and Breaker Room Funtime Freddy, which again, there's a later iteration of that that I prefer more than the one in Sister Location anyway. So, yeah, that's just how I feel. Moving on, we got FNaF 6. Now, this is an interesting one to rank because this, and I guess technically UCN as well, kind of marked the end of the Scott Cawthon era of games, the Quick Team Me games. And most of what FNaF 6 has to offer is pretty good. The lore, the story, the voice acting, like I said, the humor is pretty good. The gameplay, for the most part, is pretty good. My biggest gripe with FNaF 6, though, is 2 things. One, the office segments are by far, like, the worst office segments. And I'm not counting, like, Sister Locations, like quote-unquote, somewhat semi, like, if you can even call it free roam, aspect to it. I'm not counting it as, like, the office segments of these games. No, this takes it back to Sit and Survive, but its Sit and Survive office segments just really are not good in my opinion. That and the jump scares, especially in the office segments, suck. But other than the office segments, the interview sections are great, and the Tycoon is peak. Honestly, Scott, if you watch this for whatever reason, please, I'm begging you, drop a just straight up Tycoon FNaF game. Please. Literally just do FNaF 6's tycoon game, maybe a little bit enhanced, improved in any way, and just give it to us, please, bro. I'm begging you. Even if it's not you, like, please, at least get like Mega Cat or someone to do this. It would be so fun. Um, Anyways, the other thing I had, which is an issue with how the Office gameplay works, is that I just feel like it's a watered down version of FNAF 3. FNAF 3 I felt was slow but methodical. FNAF 6 kind of makes the mistake and makes it kind of like FNAF 2 again, where it's like, everyone is dealt with the same way, and it's kind of just up to luck on whether or not, you're gonna, like, get them the fuck off. The other thing I really don't like is the fact that they actually legitimately, it's in their code to teleport. I believe someone once described it as each animatronic literally has an ender pearl each night, and I, I hate it. I'm sorry, I absolutely hate it. It's just, why? That is like the last thing that they need in like a FNAF 3 type of like use an audio lore to get them to piss off kind of thing. Like, why? Springtrap, I know, is pretty fast, but he doesn't have a goddamn ender pearl and can just get in your office in like 0.2 seconds. When he gets in your office in like 0.2 seconds, I feel like it actually makes sense. Here, I question every single time, how the hell did you get in my office so goddamn quickly? It's called an ender pearl. With all that said, I'm probably gonna put it in mid afternrific. It's still a really, 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 really damn good game, but that the office segments just drag it down a little bit. And I know what you're thinking, man, what kind of tier list video is this? Why are you just sticking to, these two tiers constantly? That's just how good these FNAF games are, with the sole exception of Sister Location, of course. Moving on, we got UCN. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention actually. You know how FNAF 3 had two endings? There's just the normal ending where you just beat the game, and then the second ending where you get the good ending. Well, this game also has Sister Location has multiple endings. A real ending, which is just kind of beating the game normally, and then the fake ending, which is where you go against like Enid and some like office segment, which is actually pretty cool. And guess what? That also gets reenacted in a later game, and I prefer that. Well, I can't say I prefer that version because, to be fair, I haven't actually done Enid's Night in the actual Sister Location game. But what I will say is that looks really cool. Too bad it's a fake ending though. But this has so many endings. Like I think there's up to 6 endings if I remember correctly, of which I've got like 4 roughly, give or take. Mainly one of them being the Lore Keeper ending. But anyways, moving on. Speaking of endings, UCN, the pretty much I guess the like epilogue of the Click Team era of Scott Cawthon's games, FNAF games. What do I think of the endless 50 animatronic gauntlet? What do I think of this game? I don't think you guys are gonna like it. Maybe some will, but some of you, I know for a fact, will not like this in the slightest. Now, hear me out for 1 second. One, similar to FNAF World, it is endlessly replayable. I can replay FNAF World over and over and over and over and probably never get bored of it because it's just that fun. I view UCN in the same light, but while FNAF World is like a cutesy, like little RPG spin off thing, UCN is like the actual epilogue to the Scott Cawthon era of Click Team Sit and Survive games, and it takes a lot from the history of FNAF, crams it into one fun, endlessly replayable package that I honestly think gets pretty underrated. Like, I get how much you play it is dependent on, like, the player themselves, but me, I absolutely love this game. I've sunk quite a decent amount of hours into it, and I've actually beat all of the like preset challenges. So like Bear's Attack, Ladies Night, Chaos 4, I think it's called, um, etc. etc. Like I've done them all, every single one of them, and let me tell you, I had a blast learning each and every mechanic behind each and every animatronic in the game. And I gotta say, I don't think I've ever been tested that much in a FNAF game. Maybe except for the sole exception of FNAF 2's 1020 mode. I haven't been talking about the 20 modes, and to be honest, I'm not even going to put them in as a factor because, like, if I'm being honest, one, I haven't beat them all, and two, like, I just think it's just a bonus mode. Like, it's not really necessary to rate the games, in my opinion. But yeah, I just think UCN is like a pretty solid entry, in my opinion, to the series. Also, underrated aspect of it is the lore. I think it's got pretty good lore slash story to it. Another thing is, I actually think its jump scares aren't that bad. I mean, for cramming 50 animatronics into one click team game, the jump scares honestly are surprisingly decent, and I honestly prefer them over FNAF 6. Don't shoot me. Um, that's pretty much all I gotta say about UCN. It's just a really goddamn fun, good game. I mean, it's not for scares, it's just for fun, kind of like a FNAF world, but brings it back to that Sin Survive route. Anyways, next up is the very first non-Scott Cawthon made FNAF game. Oh yeah, Help Wanted 1. Now, I think you guys already know what tier this is gonna go. Some of you already know. Kablam. And while we're at it, Curse of Dreadbear, because I pretty much rate it the same as the base game, Kablam. Both of them instant superstar games. Like, I don't even need to say anything. The way it recreates FNAF 1, 2, and 3 is crazy. Like, playing them in VR is crazy. Even in non VR, like, I find it a lot of fun to just pop in a Help Wanted in non VR and just do like 1, 2, 3, even do like um, the other ones, like the repair minigames. And that's another thing. The repair minigames in this are so fun, and even some of the other ones, like the Funtime Foxy segment, the Fun with Plush Trap and stuff. But where would I put Help Wanted? Like, I definitely better than these, but I don't know if I would chuck it better than FNAF 1. I mean, like, it just doesn't carry over. I feel like FNAF 1's um what do you call it? Like horror and like mystique, I guess, like atmosphere. As well as it doesn't carry the what's it called? Dude, I can't think of it, but that's besides the point. It honestly does quite a few things better than the originals, but I still feel like Help Wanted 1 um it's still pretty good. I'll probably put it here. Curse of Dreadbear. I'd actually put Curse of Dreadbear above Help Wanted 1. I love the original minigames in Help Wanted 1, but the recreations, I mean, they're pretty fun and good, but like debatably, like some of them are kind of worse than the original versions. But Curse of Dreadbear is just entirely new stuff, and it's so fun. I'm so cut that we didn't actually get like a proper update to Help Wanted 2 in the same vein as Curse of Dreadbear. Moving on. Oh Jesus. Okay, this game I'm gonna have like the absolute least to say anything about. Special delivery. It's just whatever, man. Like, if you've played it or seen gameplay of it, I mean, you would probably know that it just looks somewhat fun, but kind of gets a bit boring if you play it a little bit too much. Um, Overall, though, just good, serviceable. It's not anything crazy, so I'm just gonna put it in playable, I guess. Like, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's just whatever. I mean, it's not horrendous to a point I'd rather get spring locked, but it's not. I wouldn't even put it acceptable because it does get kind of boring pretty quickly. I just realized what's next. Oh my god. Okay. This is gonna be, hands down, the hardest one to rank because I don't know where to put it. Like, it's so weird. It's such a weird one to rank because, on one hand, it's an absolute buggy mess and has so many issues to it. Like, even beyond the glitches. Like, it has story issues, it has gameplay, like core gameplay issues. There's just so much with this game that is wrong. Yet, ironically, there's also so much good to it. Like, it has potential. It is literally the potential man of the FNaF franchise. But they shanked it. They completely messed it up. Steelwool and Scott did. Not just Steelwool, Scott. Both of them messed it up, for the record. I just. This is so frustrating because, I love the glam rocks. I love the pizzaplex. I love the music. I honestly love the atmosphere of the game. I mean, could it have been a little bit more creepy? Yes, Ruin does prove that. The more creepy atmosphere is a bit better. But like even then, like I just love like the Pizzaplex and its atmosphere. Like it really sells the type of location that it is. And again, like the glam rocks are great. I love Vanessa slash Vanny, despite not really being in the game all that much. I really wish she was in the game more. Who knows? Maybe Security Breach 2 will fix that. I really fucking hope so. Because she was one of the coolest parts of the game to me. Um, and having Freddy help you, honestly, it was actually one of the coolest and most unique things about Security Breach. I know for some people it's like, oh, but it takes away from the horror, it takes away from the horror, it's like, like, blah, blah, blah. I can't speak. Point is, people use the whole like, oh, you can use Freddy to help you thing as like a complete safe factor. I don't care. It's just fun though. Like that's a good thing to me. It's fun and it's unique as well. Like no other FNAF game has done that thus far. I mean, it comes back a little bit later. Wink, wink. I probably messed up the wink, didn't I? But yeah, it does come back a little bit, and I'll get to that in a second. But I think it's really cool. But the core issues are still issues, and they're like really, 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 really big issues. So, because of that, I can't put it. I don't want to put it all the way at the bottom because, like, I do have fun playing it despite the glitches and stuff. But I also don't want to put it in something like Aftonrific or even Superstar because that's just ludicrous. Like, it's just not a well-made game. I think if I had to put it anywhere, it's going to be our first acceptable. That's where I have to go because, like, it's just not. Like, it has too many flaws to say it's Aftonrific or even, let alone Superstar. But it's not. Like, I don't absolutely hate it to the point where, like, I would rather get Springlocked or just find it playable. Then we have the Ruin DLC. This one's also pretty tough because I do like certain things about it. Like I think its story is great. Um, to an extent, it makes the Pizzaplex more of a horror location. Um, it finally introduces the Mimic properly. Also, I forgot to mention that Security Breach has like a shit ton of endings. And I just think like from a lore perspective, Ruin is pretty good, but from a gameplay standpoint, this one has me hitting the Higuruma. Um, I can't lie. Why does it absolutely sting in terms of gameplay? Oh my damn, it's so linear, it's so boring. Like, It's just basically walking in a straight line simulator with some of the most easy puzzles I've ever seen in my life. It's like Resident Evil if Resident Evil was made for people who watch Coco Melon. It is insane. It is actually insane. Like, it is actually ridiculous. Honestly, even comparing it to Resident Evil was actually a ridiculous pull for me. That is actually stupid. I can't believe I said that. But it's just so bad. Like I actually like it even less than I like Sister Location. Like Sister Location has some pretty good redeeming qualities to it, but I despise Ruin because while yes, it attempted being a bit more scary, but it also completely takes away the personality of Security Breach. Like none of the music is as good. None of the characters are as good and like cool as they were. They're not even like that creepy, if I'm being honest. The only good one is design wise, in my opinion, is Roxanne. I feel like Roxy Wolf. Aside from that, like I honestly reckon the Security Breach iterations are way better. And just all around, there's not that many redeeming qualities to this other than the lore and well, the mimic. That's literally it. Oh, and Roxy. Aside from those things, I just do not like Ruin all that much. It stinks. And then we got Help Wanted 2. Now, this is going to be interesting because I definitely like it less than the first game, but it's got a lot more unique minigames rather than straight up recreations. I mean, at most, it recreates moments from Sister Location and somewhat the Office gameplay from here, but just completely changes the context. Um, It's a bit of a tough one, I can't lie. It is tough because, you know, I I do like um some of its minigames. Like I think it's pretty fun. Like the arts and crafts, the carousel, um Sister Location remakes, the FNaF 6 Office segment remake. Like I like quite a bit of them, but then at the same time, some of them are just some random bullshit that just ain't really FNAF. Like you got bowling, you got Bonkaban, you got freaking Fazzablast is actually pretty good. I won't knock Fazzablast. Um, you also have like Roxy like saloon makeup shit, and it's like what? I don't want to do that. I mean, I'm honestly gonna have to put it. This is kind of tough. I would say it's more fun than FNAF 2, but other than providing slightly more fun and sections that are better than what's in Sis Location and a section from this that's better than the original game. Other than those things, it just really doesn't do all that much. I would say it's just pretty high acceptable, if I'm being honest. Like, sure, it plays better and it's a lot less glitchy and stuff than Security Breach, but it's just a lot more meh compared to like at least I can feel strongly about Security Breach and like find some redeeming qualities despite how bad it can be. This is just kind of whatever, man. Oh boy. This might stir some people. This might, get people to champion me. I don't know. I absolutely love Into the Pit. It is such a good like video game recreation of the actual book. It is so good. Oh my lord. Mega Cat, I absolutely love you, mate. Keep up the good work. Um, Big ups for giving us FNAF World 2. And also, I have very high hopes for that. That aside, though, like, just, oh, dude, it's just so good. Like, again, just, like, from an adaptation standpoint, it's so good. But also, just from, like, a video game standpoint, it really gave me pretty heavy, like, Alien Isolation. But if it was 2D and, like, more, like, what is it, like, 16-bit? I honestly cannot believe how good this game is. Like, I was a little bit like, wait, really? We're getting it into the pit game when I first heard about it, but getting it, like, shit blew my mind. I just don't know where to put it exactly in Afton Riff, where to put it if I'm being honest. Like, I think it's definitely better than FNAF 2, better than FNAF 6. I would argue it's definitely better than FNAF 3. Like, I don't have, like, really a single issue with this. I mean, like, maybe could there have been a bit of voice acting? Yeah. FNAF World doesn't have voice acting, and look how high it is. Oh, these don't really have all that much voice acting, and look how high they are. Well, this one in particular. So, I don't know. Hmm. I would probably say it's like, this is tough, man. Do I like it more than FNAF World? Well, I mean, it's kind of hard because Into the Pit is actually trying to be like a proper horror game like the rest of the FNAF series, but FNAF World is just like a fun little goofy um RPG. So I'm gonna go yes, because as much as I love FNAF World, I do prefer the more horror roots of the series. Is it better than UCN? I mean, it's not as replayable as these two, but for what it lacks in replayability, that first playthrough hits. And to be honest, it actually has decent replayability. Like, you have different difficulties you can do, different endings you can go for, mini games you can access and stuff. Like, there's quite a bit to actually do. Unlike even this, where like when you beat this, it's like that's it, you just beat it. So low key, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's like up here. I don't know if I would actually even put it above FNAF 1. Like, that's, I don't know, because I do endlessly replay FNAF 1, and even though FNAF 4 is like a one playthrough game for me, technically, like, it's just a masterclass of a video game, and like, I can't lie, like, this has the horror of like a FNAF 4 or FNAF 1. It has the atmosphere of like a FNAF 4 and FNAF 1. It's got pretty good, like, decent music and ambience. It's got a great ass story. Like, I don't know, it actually might low key even be here. I don't know. We'll sit on that. Let's let it sizzle for now. I don't know. It might be pissing people off, but I don't care. Let's just let that sizzle for now. And let's do Secret of the Goddamn Mimic, the most latest, newest FNAF game. Now, if I were to be asked, where would you rank Secret of the Mimic these days? I think I would have easily jumped like here, mm, here, so second best in the entire series, or I even would have went here. Now, before you say anything, no, that is not my final ranking, but just hear me out. I would have put it there automatically, or even just behind FNAF 4 automatically. But the thing is, I have the platinum on Secret of the Mimic, and let me tell you something. I honestly enjoyed the game a lot more on repeat play, pardon me, repeat playthroughs. So playing it again for the second time and then playing it again a third time. Like, I honestly enjoyed it more the other times I played it rather than the first time. Like, the first time was pretty good, I enjoyed what I got. And like, yeah, I know a lot of people say like, oh, but it's like poppy playtime, there's no Sim Survive, like it's not the same FNAF. I don't care. I honestly think Secret of the Mimic has some of the qualities of the previous games. I mean, it takes what I disliked about Security Breach, address basically everything that I found wrong with Security Breach, actually made it more scary, and actually made, the Mimic a threat. And like, I know to an extent it's kind of annoying because, it's just the Mimic just changing costumes constantly, and that's it. Like, there's no real difference to his AI. And yes, I know the chases are very much poppy playtime, but I don't know, like, I just think they're really fun set pieces, and it has by far, like, one of my favorite sections in a FNAF game, period, which is the White Tiger section. Yes, that scares the shit out of me every single time. But that's all just what I thought back then. But what do I think now? Like, as of literally right now, how do I feel about Secret of the Mimic? I still think it is a fantastic game. It's got pretty good gameplay. It basically took what I disliked about Security Breach and Ruin and just fixed and addressed every single issue. It also upped the horror a bit and actually did better in environmental storytelling and storytelling in general. It just is a really damn good game, and I hate how everyone keeps just discounting it because it's like, oh, but it like looks similar to Poppy Playtime or plays like Poppy Playtime, and like I get that, I get it, but I just think like for FNAF's spin on that kind of formula, it worked. It worked great. Like it was really damn good. It was well made. Better than Security Breach. Sure, Security Breach has a bit more charm and a bit more of that FNAF like oomph to it, if you know what I'm talking about. But despite that, like Secret of the Mimic is just a better made game. It's just they literally took everything that I disliked about the more modern games and just addressed it all. And dude, the chase sequences, like Jackie was fun, Big Top was such a fun action set piece. Um, Dolly section, I don't know why some people I know don't like it, but I honestly enjoyed it. It honestly reminded me quite a bit of Alien Isolation a little bit. I mean, not as good, but it kind of was there. And like, I see like Alien Isolation as like the benchmark for horror games. Like that's what 3D horror games should be like. And Secret of the Mimic and Into the Pit are both variations of that type of game. Like Into the Pit has it in a more 2D route, and Secret of the Mimic has it in a 3D route. So all this yap about comparing these games to Alien Isolation and comparing them to previous FNAF games, how do I feel about Into the Pit and Secret of the Mimic? Where would I put them? Now, let's go over what I actually like about these games and what these ones do better. So, like I said, Alien Isolation to me is the pinnacle of horror video games. So, the fact that these two are what I'm comparing it, or like are the FNAF equivalents of a Alien Isolation type game, honest to God, as much as I love FNAF 4 and like its story and stuff, I genuinely think, oh my goodness, I think Into the Pit takes the crown jewel. Again, it's literally close, like it's FNAF's equivalent of what I say is the pinnacle of horror games, Alien Isolation. It's Alien Isolation, but FNAFified and 2D with, what do you call it? Like, is it 16-bit, 32-bit art style? And it's adapting like one of the best FNAF stories ever told. Are you kidding me? Why would I not put that at number one? Why wouldn't I? It's a really well made game, and there's a reason Mega Cat Studios are the ones making FNAF World 2. Like, come on. Are we are we being serious? And then Secret of the Mimic. One that gets endlessly, shat on in the media. And look, I know its VR port is rocky, and I'm not gonna play that because of how bad it looks. But just the game as I know it, as I've played it, as I've platinumed it, it is a really damn good game. I can't lie. It's not as much of a masterclass in sound design and horror as FNAF 4, but does it get there? Yes. You know what? I think I'll probably put Secret of the Mimic here for now. I reckon this is the final tier list. So Ruin, the absolute worst thing in FNAF. I know, surprise. Security Breach, I'm guessing you expected to be there, but no. So let's recap all of this. Ruin, worst game in the series. I dislike it for the most part from a gameplay standpoint, from a pretty much almost everything standpoint. The only good things are Roxy and her character, the Mimic finally being introduced, and the like lore slash story implications of this DLC. That's it. Sister Location, I know a lot of people like it. I just don't like its gameplay segments. Other than that, it's got great lore, great dialogue, great humor, blah 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 blah. Great music as well. Just serviceable, okay, whatever kind of game. You know what? Actually, I might change this around. Actually, um, there we go. So I'd rather get Springlock than play that. This is somewhat serviceable, whatever. Sister Location, it's whatever to me. But it's definitely better than AR. Security Breach, despite all of its flaws, I actually somewhat enjoy. Help Wanted 2 doesn't have as many like glitches and issues and stuff with it, but it is a bit more of a compared to Help Wanted 1. FNaF 2, I think its gameplay is super boring, but I'll still play it every now and then. It's still a really good game, it's still really well made. It's just, to me, now that I've played it like so many goddamn times, I find it boring as hell. The only like thing I can really do on it is play 1020, and I'll be honest, I hate it. Um, this is a mostly better than FNAF 3 game, aside from the office segments, which is where it should really count. So if it wasn't for that, it would be above FNAF 3. But FNAF 3, absolute masterclass. Night 1, being an absolute nothing burger of a night, holds it back. And I know there's a lore reason behind it, but come on, bro. It's boring as hell. Just sitting there waiting for that night to goddamn end. FNAF World, cute little RPG spin off. Absolute peak. Cannot wait for the second one. Um, but I can't lie, as good as the characters look, the backgrounds and stuff kind of look a bit not as good, but still, you know what? It's just a great game. I can replay it over and over, and I'll gladly, happily replay it over anything in these tiers, without a doubt. UCN, a great way to make the sit and survive horror gameplay endlessly replayable and completely custom to the player's liking. And its greatest strength is unironically its biggest weakness. Um, yeah, that's all I can say about UCN. Actually, I might swap these around just because I feel like FNAF World has a bit more like better qualities. Um, this, if I'm being honest, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll probably jump this down to like probably here, in my opinion. Because now that I'm thinking about it, it is pretty damn good and it's pretty damn fun. But something I start to notice about Help Wanted is one, it's not all that replayable, and two, like, yeah, okay, I could play the recreations of 1, 2, and 3, but like, I would rather just actually play 1, 2, or 3, to be honest. Curse of Dreadbear will stay that high just because actually, no, I'll drop it down to the same tier because, again, it's like technically the same game. It's just these are extra mini games and stuff. So, there you go. So, UCN, FNAF World. I would probably keep Secret of the Mimic here. As much as I had positives for it, it does also have some negatives. Like, for example, its music is not as memorable as something like a FNAF World, a Security Breach, even Sister Location. But where it lacks in that regard, like it does have still quite a lot of positives. And again, similar to UCN, you could argue that its greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. It just depends on who you ask, really. For me, it's its greatest strength. For others, greatest weakness. FNAF 1, it's the classic. I don't really need to say anything. FNAF 4 is FNAF 1 cranked up to an 11. And just Into the Pit is literally the pinnacle of horror games, but in the FNAF universe, telling one of the best stories ever made and in 2D form. That is going to have to do it for this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Peace, and I will see you in the next one. Jar J Yapping out.